Turn off.
Good day, everybody. Good day, good day, good day. Good day, seven continents of the world. We're talking Asia, Antarctica, Africa, North America, South America, seven continents in all. And we're here. And we told you last week that we're starting a new edition. We're looking at African startup and innovators. Now, why is it startup and innovators? Some are just beginning and some have been there for a while. Now, today, the person we're going to talk to is clearly not a startup, he's an innovator, an elder statesman in his own right. He has earned his epaulet. So the whole idea is to showcase what Nigerians and Africans in diaspora, and even some based in Africa, are doing. Small business, big business, but we need to showcase what we're doing, celebrate our own. It's not all bad news about Africa and Nigeria, to be precise. We always say, the largest concentration of Black people anywhere on the planet is Nigeria. So but people make it look like everything about Nigeria is bad news. Now, we are making a point of duty. African startup and innovators, we're going to be talking to Nigerians that have slayed stereotype, that have, done the undoable, did the unbelievable, rather, pardon me for that. So today we're talking to Dr. Charles E. Orbih. Dr. Charles, welcome to Atlanta Discus.
Buddy, thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Okay. Now, I'm going to introduce Dr. Charles. I'm not going to summarize his resume. I'm trying to give it up so that you know that he has actually paid his dues. Dr. Orbih stands as a beacon of excellence, in the realms of travel and technology. A visionary entrepreneur. He's a serial entrepreneur, actually. Yeah, visionary here, but I have to put serial there. Since the opportunity, he goes for it. He is the esteemed founder of Jau Travels and the dynamic co-founder of cyber training and consulting services. See, he's a founder and a co-owner. That's a lot in recent time. Hailing from Ogbonna in Edo State, that makes him a Nigerian over there. Dr. Orbih's journey is one of ambition and remarkable achievement, culminating in his naturalization as an American citizen in 1994. That's a long time ago. His expertise and pioneering spirit continue to redefine the boundaries of innovation and consultancy in his field. See, I've not even seen this already. You can see the word innovation is there.
Thank you.
Yeah. So he boasts an impressive academic and professional pedigree underpinned by a relentless pursuit of excellence. He earned a bachelor's of science degree in electrical engineering. Same here. So we have something in common, electrical engineering, from the Oklahoma State University, Stillwater, Oklahoma, and further advanced his expertise with a Master of Business Administration in Technology Management from the University of Phoenix, that's in Arizona. He's also a certified Stanford University project manager. Dr. Orbih is also a white belt and gray belt security ninja certified by Cisco. You have to be IT compliant to understand all that. All right, so added to his distinguished credentials, he holds a PhD in entrepreneurship and enterprise management from ETSI Business School, that's Open Christian University, embodying a perfect blend of technical expertise, strategic acumen, and entrepreneurial vision. I told you he's a serial entrepreneur. Wow. Throughout his academic journey, Dr. Orbih served as a representative of Africa and Nigerian students at Oklahoma State University, fostering partnership with African Americans, addressing racial tension. Yeah, you're already preparing the ground. Yeah. So, his dedication to community service is evident in his active involvement with organizations like To Build a Nation Foundation, the American Public Affairs Committee, where he served as vice chairman of the NAPAC Foundation. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of NAPAC. Currently, Dr. Orbih is the president of the Nigerian Diaspora Association organization in America and a partner with Collaborative Council of Nigerians in Diaspora, that's CCND, advocating for the growth and welfare of Nigerians globally. That's gospel. Yes, I like that. He's also very active with Government College Ughelli, North American Old Boys Association. I serve as the national organization chairman. You know why I laugh at that? I went to a big grammar school. It's a very old school. So I understand the tradition that comes with all those old schools. There's a lot of tradition there,
Yes.
Yeah. He's I believe that Dr. Orbih believes that in the 21st century, community service is an opportunity to share because we care. Sharing because we care can go a long way to heal the wounds in our communities. Wow. He also believes that technology will shape how humans and business interact to build sustainable systems in the area of healthcare, politics, and social exchange. Wow, 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 wow.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay, for his leadership, for leadership and exceptional contribution to the communities we serve, Dr. Orbih has been honored. Yes, like 5 awards here, inducted to the Black History Achievement Hall of Magnum Opus. Wow, Government College of really distinguished Marina, absolutely. You know, I wasn't surprised with that. African Community Service Award, Nigeria Impactful Leaders Award, and lifetime member of the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineer. That's IEEE. Wow, wow, wow! I have to clap it. That's
Wow.
you're an innovator par excellence. I like that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So
Thank
in
you.
our tradition, you know, we always like to keep the ground running, especially with people like you. You know, there's a lot to learn. So what inspired you to start your first business, and what drove you to become a serial entrepreneur? Over to you, sir.
It's a very interesting question. Again, thank you. I'm happy to be here and for seeing some of your handwork and the various people that have come on your program, and very impressive. Thank you for what you are doing for our community, our communities here, and our country and our people in general. Well, what inspired me to start my first business? I'll tell you, the first registered business is really not what I started with. I would say I would go back as far as the mid 90s to late 90s. Myself and a few friends of mine, about 5 of us, right in the heart of Silicon Valley, Sunnyvale, California. We were in my apartment. And for those who know, you know that most of the drivers today of the, I would say the global technology economy, many of them came out of Silicon Valley, California. And most of the time, a lot of the conversations that led to their companies started from either their kitchen table, their garage. Apple is one of them. HP is one of them. And there might be another one or two that started from the garage, a group of people having a conversation. So in my case, we were talking about building an organization that will be like the hub for education research. Actually, the NGO was called African Education Research Foundation, ARF. Unfortunately, we did not understand the undertaking in terms of selling your ideas to people who can invest in it and make it a reality. If we were able to do that, or if we had been able to do that, we could have become the Amazon of Africa. Because our whole idea was, let us build a system, a company, NGO, that will be responsible for sharing information. Anything you want to know about Africa, you go to ARF Hub. 3 of us at that time were engineers at Sun Microsystems. And so we were essentially taking the concept of we are the dot in the .com, build a server that will host what people see today as well, yeah, I think there's still servers. They still call them servers, but if you want to go find information about China, you go www.blah, and that blah could be residing in South Africa. And so we wanted to do something like that. So where I'm going with this is that we were the first people, myself and my friends, that initiated the very first email communication that went out of the US shores into Nigeria, working in collaboration with Yaba Technology. Went through South Africa and brought email to Nigeria. Very slow at that time, 56K baud modems. So my primary role in that enterprise, if you will, was to be responsible for conducting the training. And so I was interested in distributing training systems, which means you have satellite training sites all over the place. But that did not, as I said earlier, we did not know what to do with it. We had that concept. It was working. I mean, we celebrated when the mail went through and got to Yaba Tech and came back. And so that was a big deal in the 90s, because for those who don't know, with everything started with American Online, and here we are today. You don't even understand that a lot of us were involved in that concept. But coming to how I started my first company, it was in my interactions, my relationships with, I've been very fortunate to work in some of the movers and shakers of technology in the world, the Sun Microsystems of the world, the Ciscos of the world, and the Atos systems. Atos doesn't exist anymore because it got acquired, like it usually happens. But I decided that I was going to use everything I had learned in corporate America to use it to effect how business, the first company I founded, which was Jau Travel, how it will be, how we would deliver service to clients. The very first audience that I dealt with, they didn't know how to interact with me because, number one, from my name, I'm Nigerian. Number two, the service I gave them, because I provided an environment where they could go and make their payments at night, even while I'm sleeping, interact. This was booking cruises to the Bahamas in the Caribbean. And these guys said, they said, no, we don't know this guy, we don't trust this guy, we don't think we can work with him. But thankfully, the leader of that group took a chance with me, and they went through with my plan for them to go and book their cruise online without my interaction with them. Because again, I wanted to transfer everything that I had learned, or most of the things I had learned in corporate America into 70 people. And so when they came back from their cruise, and he went and wrote a note, told all his people that that was the best time he's ever had. And from then on, that guy up to today, whenever he's going anywhere, he will call me up first. So how do we, where can we go? Where should we go? How long will it take? So that was what inspired me. What inspired me was I wanted to use some of the things I've learned, transfer them into a different environment, totally different from technology, of course, which is a lot of my passion, because that's where I've been, but use it in a different industry altogether. So that was how Jau Travel was founded in 2015.
Oh, wow, interesting. Let me quickly ask you this. How do you identify business opportunities, and what factors do you consider when deciding whether to pursue a new venture? What are the factors?
Okay. Well, that's an excellent question. Of course, it's this cliche that everybody goes into business to make money. And so if money making is your driver, it's your primary objective, then of course you have to identify what the market looks like. And now there are some markets that are temporary. It may seem like, this is the time to go and take, for example, right now everybody is talking about AI. But how many people are actually doing the research? For the developer, for the engineer, AI is powerful. For the scientist, AI is great. But for a businessman, may I put that in quotes, how is AI going to benefit your venture? So absolutely. So the first thing you want to do is identify the market opportunity, identify the market, the target market that you want to address, and also try to understand, is it going to be there short term, long term, or mid term, or long term? And what type of services do you want to provide to that marketplace? So absolutely, you need to identify the target market. You want to also know, can you deliver to that target market what it is that they are looking for? Because so say, as an engineer, sometimes you can build the best product in the comfort of your cubicle or the comfort of your room, and it may do all the nice jazzy stuff you want it to do. But the question is somebody going to buy it when you are done? So you want to make sure that it's going to be useful, or whatever you are trying to introduce is useful to the market base that you're looking at. And definitely you have to look at longevity. Can you provide, take the travel industry, for example. There's a lot of money in the travel industry, but the question becomes, what part of the travel industry do you want to get involved in? For us, for Jau Travel, ultimately we want to make it a tourism experience where not tourism just in theory, because I know there's a lot of theoretical tourism systems in our country, but make it applicable, make it sustainable, that buzzword we all use these days, but also make sure that people find value in what you are giving to them. So if I take my state, for example, Edo State, there's a lot of tourism opportunities. There's a lot of money-making tourism opportunities or ventures that can be had. And so to again, I hope I'm answering your question. How do
Oh,
you,
yeah, no.
yeah, so
Go ahead.
definitely identify the market, identify the people, then think about the service you want to provide to them. Is it going to be useful to them over time? And if you are not going to be able to deliver it over time, there's a lot of opportunity to partner as well, because we all know no one person can have all the solutions. That's why
Absolutely.
companies acquire companies and partner with companies to deliver the full solution.
So what role has mentorship, played in your success, and how do you pay it back to other entrepreneurs?
Well, well, of course, this is what you do. So you ask great questions. I think that when I say we as a people, we have a tendency to think that we know it all. No, we don't need anybody to tell us um, to tell us anything, because we can do it all by ourselves, because we are very smart. We have all the PhDs and all the masters and all of that. But I have a friend. He's late now. He used to be, even though we were colleagues like mates, he used to say to me, Charlie, do you want to be right, or do you want peace? So when he says that, do you want to be right, or do you want peace? Even though we were mates, you can see that that peer-to-peer relationship, he was also building his own business at the time. The peer-to-peer relationship was something that I could learn from. I've had people in my life, both at peer level, that were instrumental in how I addressed problem solving in real time, in real life, or business related problems. I've had people who were, may not have assigned the title mentor to them, but watching them, how they did what they did, how they got along, it's almost like watching them and watching how what they were doing. For example, I had a gentleman who, it didn't matter, one of the, I met this guy at IBM, and he said to me, I don't care what I do, even if I'm sweeping the floors. I am good as long as it is legitimate. I will do what I can to take care of my family. So to me, even though this guy was a great programmer, he was programming the IBM mainframe machines, but he was doing all these things because of the impact that it will have on his family. So right there, to me, he was mentoring what it meant to have dignity in doing what you do without looking at the grandiose effect of that. So that was a one-to-one, if you will, mentorship for me. Mentorship from afar, for example, I always take on a quote from one of our I've had a couple of big times. I'm not going to throw names so it doesn't seem like a name dropping. But he always used to say, you either have lunch or they have you for lunch.
I like that.
You either have lunch or they have you for lunch. That was his main driver in forming, investing in business places. Competition was stiff, and this guy was, if I mention, everybody knows him in the industry, but he always used to say, you either have lunch or they have you for lunch. So that was part of the mentoring that I was getting from people who were not directly related to me, but I worked very closely with them. And so what I have tried to do in my own small way is some indirectly, I'm usually gratified when people come to me and say, well, it was what you said to me or what you did with me when I came to work for your group that is why I am where I am today. And that usually for me is more than anything else. And these are people, some of them are mates, some of them are younger ones. So in my attempt to try to reach back, again, notice I say attempt.
Okay.
You can't. And I already said that we feel we have the answers to everything. We don't need anybody to tell us. And you probably have encountered this yourself, because people will say, "Oh, I know it all." I see a lot of opportunities in our environment, in our country, that can be adapted to solve a lot of the problems that we have. But we would rather say, "Oh, we need so and so to come and do it for us before we can listen." And so, but I try, whether in small circles, whether it's a one-on-one, in my office here. Sometimes when I get home, I say, "Man, I feel like I'm in a counseling session." Because people inadvertently they start to talk about some of the challenges they have,
Mm.
and I have an opportunity in the process to share my experiences with them, and try to encourage them and let them know that whatever they're dealing with is temporary, if they keep their focus and don't give up.
Interesting. So, still on mentoring, let's talk about cyber training and consulting service. Can you tell us more about that, the courses you offer? And
Yes.
now, I know you have a background in that, so that was is your forte,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
The child Jacko is more of business and passion also,
Yes.
But so tell us more about cyber training and
Yes.
consulting
Yeah.
services, the
Okay.
courses, how it came about, and what any other thing you want to share with us.
It's a very interesting development in my life, because I think when we were talking off camera, and you were saying that you still have a regular gig,
Mm-hmm.
which is what most of us here do, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So cyber training came across, say around 2017, 2018, thereabout. I was going through a transition, uh, otherwise known as changing, during the downturn in the economy. And one of my friends came to me and said, "Well, we have this opportunity to do this training class." The idea was brought to him by somebody in leadership in the NGO sector. I said, "Okay, well, the good thing is I think I have a little bit of time now because I'm no longer." Uh, Doing 60 hour for 40 hour job." Yeah. And so I looked at the curriculum they were looking at. I said, "Well, this is basic stuff." We all know that what is now become known as cyber was always there as information security. And it was always a part of the tech environment that had been there, but not clearly defined, not clearly called cyber security.
Got it.
As a matter of fact, cyber training, cyber security also have different connotations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when we started this journey, it was let's talk to NGOs like churches, because today the only way you are safe from being attacked or being hacked is don't plug to the internet, because the moment you plug into the internet, you're
Yeah.
potential
Yeah.
you're a target.
Vulnerable.
Yeah, yes. Excuse me, whether it's your phone or your computer, yeah, you're absolutely vulnerable. So when I saw what they were doing, I said, we can do more than this, because again, this is the area I have been. I am aware of what is going on here. Let's broaden the horizon. And so we did. And so what we have been doing over the last several years, because again, I couldn't come out openly and say, "Yeah, I'm a co-founder, I'm doing this," because I was still, protecting the other aspect of my life, the investment aspect. Working with a corporate entity, because otherwise it becomes as a divided interest, or what is the other buzzword they use? The word of you're not paying attention to your regular job. And so for a while, I did not feel comfortable talking about the fact that in this field. And also once you put that thing there, cybersecurity, you also become a target. Everybody is looking
Mhm.
for, what are you doing? Where are you going? Who are you? And so we offer courses today, in the area of both in awareness training, letting people know that you really don't have to be afraid of going online. because the internet was designed for a purpose. It was designed to make people's life a little bit easier for them. But of course, we have people who use it for nefarious things. And so we do cyber training awareness. We also do cyber security, which is also in the area of threat, in the area of vulnerability testing, pen testing, and those kind of things. Now, we're a very small, we're a relatively small startup. We're still in a startup mode. However, we have a lot of partners in the industry that we can work with if we have a large opportunity. So today we offer classes like the CompTIA, because we're partners. We're a delivery partner with CompTIA, COMTIA, COMPTIA. So we offer security. We also have one of their latest courses, which is the AI Essentials. And we also have access to, so technically we have access to all their training classes, whether it's A+, security A+, and the like. But we also distribute products we are federally authorized to distribute Dell computers, HP, Microsoft. Literally, we have access to the whole solution of products. And so, yeah, those are the kind of things that we do.
Yeah. Are the classes in person or online?
Yeah, majority online, virtual, because we know people don't like to travel. They want to be. So we have to, as you asked me earlier, how do you determine where to go? So we have to work with where the customers are. If they are online, for example, our AI Essentials is a very low cost investment for people who want to learn about AI. The 5-day CompTIA security training is a 5-day class. If you take it with some of the bigger companies, it's anywhere from 4 or 5K and above. But because we're hungry, we want to eat. We don't want to be eating. And so we make it very literally inexpensive for folks. However, they can pace themselves. They don't have to take it all in 5 days. They can space it out and do it on demand. And it's also online. But we also have the opportunity to do on-site if people so choose.
All right. So, but where's your physical presence based in America for JACO and the cyber school? Which city, which state?
Yeah, we're in the Research Triangle Park area of North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
The great state of the Tar Heels, specifically we're in Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah, I've been to Durham.
The city of medicine, where Duke University is.
Okay.
We are, I don't know if I can say this, but both CTGI, which is Cyber Training Group International, ctgint.us, as a domain, and jautravel.com. Can easily find us online. We partner with Levate Travel that offers travel globally, any kind of travel, whether it's celebrity wedding you want to organize. I may not look like one who's going to do celebrity wedding, but but the reality is we can partner. We have vendors. We have access to all kinds of vendors that do training. But my vision for JACO is to be able to offer tourism for people that want to go to Africa, not just take people to the Caribbean, but take people to Africa, to Nigeria in particular, to let them know that there are places you can visit there. Similarly, for cybersecurity training, we want to bring some of the experiences we've had to the people, so that it's not only something that we talk about, but we can experientially tell them, show them how they can benefit from the technology and how that can safeguard or protect our dear country.
Interesting. So let's talk about cultural identity, your experience. I know it's not all smooth. I know you referenced one of the first clients you have who, when they saw you of Nigerian or African origin, were hesitant about investing in your business. And today the rest is history. They more or less can't even do anything without you.
Yeah.
So I was really, really impressed with that, because that's the kind of gospel we want to propagate, build the network, long-time friendship, and doing business with diverse people, multi-ethnic, the kind of stuff we want. building our culture and building our credibility level, actually. So how
Yeah.
has your Nigerian heritage influenced your approach to business and entrepreneurship? I mean, I'm
Oh, wow.
talking, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. One of the reasons that people ask me, you've been in America for so long, why should you care about Nigeria? So, well, the reality is that is the place that gave me my beginnings. That's the place that's where I was formed, if you will. As much as we enjoy the benefits of being here, the attractions of being here, I doubt very much. I think it was Martin Luther King who says something like, "You can't be free when the man next to you is not free." Something like that. But when you see the suffering in that country, of course, we did not see it that way when we were there, but I'm sure it was there. But the moment because we did not have a frame of reference, but the moment you came out and then you look back and you see, oh my goodness, this place is it's horrible, it's terrible. That drives you. You want to say, what can I do? But cultural challenges were nothing new to me. I went to school in Oklahoma, so that in itself.
Red Oklahoma, yeah.
We used to go into the student union. The people noticed I was a senator to the Afro-Am Council.
Yeah.
We used to go as regular people. We go to the student union when we're outside school. We get along with a lot of other American born blacks. But the moment they are together among themselves and they see us, it's almost like, I don't know you. And so those were some of the challenges we were trying to address. Those were some of the misconceptions we were trying to address. And so that formation, I think, coming so far away from home, and no, you are here now, there's no father, brother, sister, nobody else. And you just have to sit in and sit tight. In most of my classes, most of the time I was really a black person there, for lack of, and it was challenging, it was difficult, but in retrospect now, it was like, hey, I couldn't have done all of this without the grace of God, because it was challenging, it was difficult. Again, you couldn't transfer easily. And so with that kind of background from home, coming to Oklahoma, studying amongst, look at a lot of the generic classes. Most of them were Malaysians, Chinese, and Indians, and Middle Easterners. Was it the only one in most of those classes? So when I came and started, right now, even in corporate America, it gets challenging when you get to a meeting. If you are with senior managers, you're probably the only one or two, and then somebody looks at you cross-eyed, especially in these days we live in. They talk about DEI. It's like, no, they don't understand. They do not understand what we have to deal with. They do not understand what we have to put up with to get to the place we have been to. If
It's
they do
tough.
understand
It's really
all
tough.
the
Yeah.
stuff they are talking about,
It's tough.
they would think twice, because realistically, we are very resilient people. We take a bunch of, if I don't know if I can say it, a bunch of crap.
Go ahead. All right.
Okay, to get to do some of the things that we do, because everybody knows that if we are all graded equally, and everybody looks at our different backgrounds, a lot of our people will be far, far, far ahead of where we are today. So it's not like they are doing us a favor to give us it's almost like 21st century slavery, really. But we're thankful and grateful for the privileges, the opportunities we've had. And so when I look at where I came from, where I was, and dealing with those kind of individuals, the only way I could identify or deal with it was, they have not been exposed to the real world. But because the real world doesn't see color, because everybody hides behind www. World Wide Web. You have
Mm.
no way of telling who is on the other side of the web.
True.
Even when you go to their websites, they put all kinds of caricature pictures.
Mm.
So you don't know who is who. And so I think the background, the upbringing, the challenges we dealt with back in Nigeria, that enabled me, if you will, to deal with. I mean, when I got to Oklahoma, I thought I was speaking good English. until
Mm.
until you make a sentence, they say, "Huh?
Oh, oh
What was
God.
that?"
Oh God.
And I hear something coming out from the PA system. I say,
Mm.
"I don't even know what they are talking about."
Yeah.
But we speak the Queen's English. So
Mm.
all of that was a lot of cultural adaptations, if you will,
Adaptation.
cultural
Mhm.
integration. So dealing with these people with Jau Travel, when we did our first introduction to cruising to the Bahamas, it was unfortunate. I didn't think I would be having that kind of impression. Again, these were all, majority
Mm.
of them were American-born blacks.
Mm.
But those who understood what we deal with know that's why the induction into the Black History Magnum Opus was very, very special to me because people identify what we have done to try to bring about not only racial reconciliation, but also making sure that we don't shoot ourselves. We are wearing the same uniform at the end of the day.
Mm.
I don't know. I
Sure.
hope I answered your question.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. See, I didn't interject you. Yeah.
Okay.
So now, still on culture and identity and experience, I've read some statistics that said that Nigerians are the most educated migrating bloc to North America. There's some that said not just that continent, two continents, some even say three. So you only have the Indians ahead of us, which is based on because of population and all that. Now, if we have so much academic prowess, some will even say that, which is true also, that 7 out of 10 Black doctors in the United States are Nigerian. So why is it so hard for us to exemplify those traits in academics into our day-to-day system in the Nigeria of today? I mean, why is it so hard? Why can't we? Because I know a lot of Iranians come here, study, work a year or two, they come back to Iran. A lot of Chinese did it. Now, it's difficult for Nigerians to go back. Is it that they are not accommodated or they don't have a free hand to do it? What really are the impediments to impacting all those extra? For someone like you, with your knowledge in cybersecurity, yeah, you'll be an asset to Nigeria. And I know quite a number of people like you, maybe not as old as you are, but with the kind of experience, some working at very high level in US government and all that. Why is it so hard for us to, replicate that?
Well, thank you. Thank you for that compliment, age and all. But I think, yeah, I think I've read some of the same statistics that you have
Mm,
read as well,
mm,
that we're one of the most educated people in the world.
mm,
Uh, yeah, there was a conversation going on African Leadership Forum yesterday, well, on Thursday, this past Thursday. I don't know when this is going to be posted, but on Thursday, the 16th of January. And there were a lot of, I think there were 3 professors in that forum. There were 4 panelists. 3 of them were professors. So go figure.
mhm,
That there tells you all the statistic you want to know. 3
mhm,
out of 4, that's 75, 75%, somewhere, something around there. Uh, Now, why is it so difficult for us to get things done in our own country? I think part of in fact, I also listened to one of your past guests.
Episode. Okay.
Yes, episodes. Okay, and I agree with one of the things that the gentleman said, which is, it did not say it the same way, but this is what I believe, that
Mm,
our value system is what is forcing our behavior. People say we are products of our environment.
mm,
True. I think that is very
mm,
correct.
mm,
But the way we look at things, the way we celebrate people who have money, who have made money, we don't care how they made it, but because they have made money. that drives the behavior that we have towards solving the problems of Africa. I told you earlier about us having that first email that went out of the went to the shores of Nigeria, went out of the shores here to Nigeria. We were talking to a very powerful engineer at that time who could have been an angel, could have even sponsored what we were doing. How do I know? Because this gentleman invented, he was an inventor. And a lot of people, a lot of tech companies today are using his invention to drive their products. And in fact, some universities are using his books to teach about multiprocessor. So now that I said that, people will know who I'm talking about. I was returning from a trip to Florida, and I met a gentleman we were on the same flight, and he asked me where I was from, and I told him. And then the first question he asked me, "Do you know so and so?" And I said, "I've heard his name, but I don't know him." He said, "Yeah, we're using his book right now in our electrical engineering class."
Oh, wow.
So those are the kind of people we have from our country. So you talk about people like me. Why is it that people like us did not go back there? Well, the reality is that we made efforts, we made attempts, but we decided that we were not going to sacrifice our principles for, so it's almost like selling your birthright for what is convenient now, just because it's going to give you access to something which is temporary. Again, at the end of the day, it's all temporary, because I've seen some things that I look and I shake my head. Been to event, I remember in the mid 2000s, went to Nigeria. I came back. One of my African American friends said to me, "Hey, Brother Charlie, is there a business we can get involved in?" I said, "Of course, there's a lot of businesses we can get involved in." At the time, we wanted to talk, we talked about waste management. Why? Because when I got home and I was driving through my tour, I was going to Festac Town, and I saw some old ladies with their brooms sweeping the road. Chifade, I mean, I literally cried because
in modern times.
Because I knew what that place was like.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it was one of the best showcases of a place to visit in Lagos, from Igamu to what was it again? Where all the festivals were taking place.
National Theatre.
Nationals, yeah, and then to Festac Town. And so when I came back, I told the guy, I said, "Yeah, we can work on waste management." I use the examples of we can leverage what we see working in the US and the rest of the world, and we can do that. So we formed a company, and the name of the company was TIK, TIK. Trust is the key, because we did not want to go and get. In fact, we even submitted our proposal to Exim Bank, and they liked our proposal. They gave us a letter of intent. They were going to fund it because we had ideas of what we were going to do, and not just do the waste management. We wanted to start with Lagos, because Lagos is a big big dog. And I say, okay, we want the government to subsidize for the individuals, and we even linked waste management to health, and how it can improve the health of the people, because you don't have to have debt all over the place. They told us, "Oh, come and make your presentation to us in Nigeria." But this was even at the early stages of telecommuting, remote meeting attendance. We said, "Well, we can do that, but we don't think we can. We don't want to come, because you guys, we think because you are coming from America, you have come with a boatload of money, and then we'll go back empty-handed." We even went to present the same idea to a governor in Houston, Texas, and they were blown away. They were excited. And the next thing we knew, before they started awarding contracts to their kinsmen about waste management. Where are we today? Every place is still free. It's still a lot of waste everywhere. So that is probably why some of us are not there, not because we don't have the capacity or the capability or the idea to be there, but we're just not there yet. I can even tell you just this about 3 months ago. CTGI, we had a meeting with a group of individuals. They were asking us how we can help them solve some of the problems they had. But we only to find out, I mean, these are respectable people, big titles. They brought almost the entire department. And we felt like, okay, since they want to discuss security, they are serious about this. But you know what they were doing? PHISHING, fishing.
Wow. Wow.
That's essentially what they were doing, because today that thing has gone poof. And these were responsible individuals, but it went poof as well, because we saw in the recent budget of the government, they are taking money away from that organization, which to us, we thought, okay, these people they are serious about doing security. And I think there are a lot of us who can tell some of those stories, and this is what is happening to many of them, and so they don't bother to go back. However, we have tried other avenues. I don't. You probably know this. You may have heard. I was involved in Kingsley Moghalu's campaign twice, for him to be the president of Nigeria. But of course, we know how all of that ended. Then the very last one was I was involved in the campaign of Madam Patience Key to be governor of Edo State. We also know how that ended. So we make attempts to try and get involved, if not directly, but indirectly, and with the hope, or with the expectation, not hope, with the expectation that we can and should be able to make a difference in what is going on in our country, because what is going on there right now, it's not very good. And so people may be writing all those things about who we are, how many degrees we have, but we don't even need people to tell us that. We already know. We know who we are. We know how qualified we are. We know how studious our people are. But that value system that we came up with, where we are taught, don't trust your neighbor, because that's in us. And until we overcome that, we're not going to be able to overcome the ethnic divisions that we have, because we need to accept the fact that we are ethnic people. There's nothing wrong with that. We are religious people. There's nothing wrong with that. The question is, how do we work with this ethnic diversity and religious diversity and form, if you will, a collaborative diversity? I believe that that's because businesses do it, right?
Right.
I mean, Juniper works with Cisco, even though they compete at a very high level.
True.
Yeah, but if Cisco has a project they want to work on, and they don't have all the solutions, they look for who can partner with them to get that job done. So at the end of the day is, what is the outcome that we are looking for? What outcome are we looking for? And I think that is probably what is preventing some of us from going and, dealing with some of that. But I think it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time, because I'm still very, because I believe my middle name, the E, says Emwekwere, which says no condition is permanent. So I believe strongly that in due time that we are going to be able to get involved in what is happening.
Interesting. So having said all that, I mean, you are obviously ready to help. You said
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that. And just like one of my last guys, that's Professor Otomi, he believes that Africa is the future. That Africa is going to be the food basket of the future. And he strongly believes, and I think I'm starting to agree with him now, that the future of Nigeria is going to be based on what the Nigerian diaspora contingent,
absolutely,
is ready to do, and that the time has come. Nobody should sit in their comfort zone with mere rhetoric. That it's time to walk the talk. So
it's good. It's good. It was good to hear him say that, because that is what we have been trying to. We don't have the megaphone that he has, but that's what we have been saying, that the deliverance, the salvation for Nigeria is going to come from the diaspora. We don't want them to continue to treat us as just remittances. We are more than remittances. We are citizens, right? They should give us we said earlier, they either have you for lunch or you have lunch. We want to have lunch, right? We don't want them, like this. I don't know this idea they just came up with. Dirty December. Oh, let's charge everybody $500. What nonsense! I mean, the diasporas are coming to invest their hard-earned money in the
Money.
economy of the country. Why penalize them for doing that? It doesn't make sense. So yes, I think that some of the challenges we face in the diaspora, they're temporary. Again, we can and we should be able to overcome with all those big degrees that you mentioned earlier. We should be able to come into a room and figure out how do we take the best of your ideas, Chief Ade, take the best of my ideas, take the best of Alaji's ideas, and how do we come up with a solution that works for all three of us? In other words, that's what companies do. You see, they build competing products. And people come with all those different ideas. They say, okay, we see what you're doing. This one may not work for us for this next 6 months. Let's take this guy. Then after that, we can take yours. That's how solutions are implemented. Why can't we do that as a people in Nigeria?
Let me ask you,
Yes.
Sorry, this is going to be a last question.
Okay.
Now, I like the last thing you said, coming together and all that. How do you think the Nigerian diaspora can come together? I know, I mean, based on your CV alone, you belong to 1, 2, 3 Nigerian diaspora organizations.
Exactly. So yeah.
I also know there's NIDO. I know that NIDO is trying their best. You understand, as maybe the umbrella body and all that. They have their own little issue, just like every other organization. So,
right.
But how can we all like come together, forge a common front for motherland to get out of the ensuing illusion? It's looking, I mean, as hopeful as some of us might be, all of a sudden, it's looking very difficult. Because you mentioned you took part in Kingsley Moghalu's campaign. I'm sure you have a lot of terrible experiences to relate.
Yeah, the man was cheated. That's my experience. He was cheated. He should be the president of Nigeria.
Our elections are not free and fair. That's a big issue. So how can the diaspora contingent in Europe,
yes,
Africa come together and forge a common front? It's taking too long, actually.
Yeah, well, our democracy is still very young. I mean, no doubt about it. It's still very young. We have to be realistic of that. It was, I'm sure you know the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, Steve Covey. I mean, the main one I take from there is begin with the end in mind, right? In sight. So in other words, in training, we talk about learning objectives, right? And we say to you, by the time you finish this training, if I'm going to give you 5 days of learning, by the time you finish these 5 days of learning, you would have done ABC. And if after 5 days you don't know how to do ABC or you've not learned ABC, you should ask for your money back. So in the context of the Nigerian system, how can we, yes, you're right. I'm in a different organization. So obviously, there's a reason I'm in some of those organizations. There are others I'm no longer in. And I think that we can come together if we believe in an objective. And if we all focus on that objective, it doesn't matter whether we are from the north, south, east, or west. That objective is what is going to bring us together. Like the example I gave earlier about the gentleman who said, they either have you for lunch or you have lunch. There is the all heads behind one arrow, if you will. So there are so many ideas, but there's only one point of that arrow because the arrow is aiming at a target. And if all the other heads are lining up behind that end or behind that head, then you can, whether you call it a consensus, whether you call it an agreement, whatever term you use for it, that point is what is driving everybody. So if all the diasporans can agree, well, not all, most of them agree that the unity of the country is more important than anything else that we all are thinking about. Somebody said one time, to keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done. Do we still believe that that is necessary? If we believe that that is necessary, it doesn't matter whether you're from the south, east, or west. I think I was talking to somebody yesterday. Said is this person part of the political party system? Why is he? I said, well, it doesn't matter. Is he a Nigerian? That's what matters. If he's a Nigerian It doesn't matter what party he belongs to. He can hold a position in any government because he has ability to bring solution to the problems that we have. Because whether we like it or not, the issues of Nigeria affect all of us.
Absolutely.
All of us.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
so we in the diaspora have to come to that point where we say, you know what, if we love our country and we think that have to go back to Macedonia and go help Macedonia out, this is how we are going to do it. Some of us are right now advocating for a cabinet post that represents the diaspora. I don't know, you may not have heard of that. We are advocating for diaspora representatives in the Congress. Because why? These individuals know they know the diaspora, they understand the language of the diaspora, they can speak it better than a deputy speaker who tells the thief people, say, no, you are not Nigerians because you live in the diaspora. I mean, what kind of this was a couple of years ago. You saw that deputy speaker who said those guys have no right to protest because they live in the diaspora, the TIV, TIV.
Yeah.
Because they live in the
know.
diaspora, they are not Nigerians. I mean, and that person is supposed to be making laws for the country. No, he's not qualified to be a deputy speaker. I'm sorry. And so we in the diaspora have to wake up and realize that we have become the laughing stock of the world. If India can come out of being the poverty capital of the world, we should be able to do it. We keep
Absolutely.
talking about we have so much natural resources. And yet, look at all the stuff they are discussing, the things they are doing. There's nothing about how do we make sure that the tourism we mentioned earlier, how do we make sure that Yakari Game Reserve is a resort that big people will come and spend their weekends? How do we make sure that Takwa Bay is a place that anybody can come and enjoy the
Yeah, but let me interject you there. I've also seen diasporans go back home, join politics, and their behavior is even worse than
Yeah,
the politician. Yeah.
I tell you why
I mean,
that
I've seen some successful ones, but
yeah.
I've seen a lot more act far
Yeah.
below power. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you why that happens. That happens because those individuals did not have a group or a team that worked with them in the diaspora to hold them accountable or responsible.
Oh, okay.
Because if we hold them to become responsible and accountable, there's no reason. I mean, we're all criticizing the bad behavior of the people. Why go and join them? Why go and do exactly what you are criticizing? It doesn't make sense. That is the highest form of hypocrisy. Because if you say they are doing this, they are chopping money, when you start to understand that when you chop money, a few university students, graduates cannot get jobs. Some roads are not going to be done. Healthcare is not delivered. With food insecurity, instead of being a palliative-based system, we should be able to produce those things. Let's look at some states in the country where agriculture can really be developed and get some of these students employed to do the work. And so there's a lot of opportunities in our system, in our country. We just have to have the courage and the determination to say we are going to make the changes. So those diasporas who go home and fall behind or fall in, to me, they are opportunists. I'm sorry. They are opportunities. They had no clear vision before they went in there. If they did, if they are your friend, they will tell you before they leave, hold me accountable. If I don't do what I'm going there to do, call me on the carpet, and I will come back. We have to put those things in place where people, if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, we recall them.
Absolutely.
We have experienced the goodness in America. People share their blood to build this place, and we are enjoying what they have done. And at least the least we can do is to, if you will, leverage this to help our people. And so, I mean, these are some of the things that I want to say they excite me, but I see a lot of opportunity. I see a lot of things that we can do differently, and it's just a matter of time. And so, yeah, the diasporans, there are organizations like CCND, they are all that are still in stealth mode that are going to be very well positioned to do what people are thinking should be done because there is a lot of diversity in that group. And so in due time, I think you probably get to hear of them. I
No
mean,
problem.
NIDO is we all know NIDO, but NIDO has its place. and the rest of the organizations. Nobody is fighting with NIDO to, I mean, NIDO can do what NIDO does. But by the same token, see, that's the thing. You have to let the other people grow to become what they have a vision to become, just like startups. Yeah, and not every startup survives, right? Some start and they blossom, but we are the only people that we say, because you're not doing it my way, you should shut up. No, we don't all have to do it, just one way, because in systems, that's what you call a single point of failure. You don't want that, right? You have to have a backup. You have to have a plan B, because if plan A fails, and unfortunately, it seems like we have experienced more failure than success. If plan A fails, I'm not going to name any name of a group, plan B should take over. And plan C should also be there. So it's the backup system should be there. So I don't have a problem with many different groups in the diaspora, but let's have a common objective, and let us, all of us, march towards that common objective, and we will be successful, I believe.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Charles E. Orbih. The truth is the truth, you know, the truth is constant like the Northern Star. Over 200 years ago, the people that lived in this land of America gave their own today for some people's tomorrow. You
Absolutely.
know, the foundational problem with most African countries that the founding fathers didn't give enough sacrifices. The people that came after them are not sacrificing. So there was no sacrifice yesterday. There's no sacrifice today. The hope of the future is almost forlorn and non-existent. And for those of us in the diaspora, we must at least make the ship sail in the same direction. I mean, if we are as patriotic as we say we are, the ship must sail in the same direction. India, 1.4 billion people, they did it. You know, there are about 6 times or 7 times the number. If India is 1.4 billion, we're 200 million, it's 7 times the number. Today, there are more poor people in Nigeria of 200 million than India of 1.4 billion. It's really it is an embarrassment, a major one. So,
can you imagine? I'm sorry. Can you imagine if a computer village was Bangla?
Can you imagine? It was in Bangla. Wow. I say it again. Wow. Thank you so much. To all our viewers, yes, we've been talking to Dr. Charles Orbih. You know, he's into hospitality management, he's a cybersecurity expert. He's not a startup, you know, he's an innovator, clearly. This program for startup, and he's an innovator. And so any other venture you want to get involved in to help the Nigeria, please get in touch with us. We'll always support you. Thank you. And to our listeners, thank you for your loyalty. Keep subscribing. We like the support. And it's a wrap there. Take care. Bye. Thank you, sir, for joining.